Greetings. We continue today in part 2 of the sixth bowl judgment from Revelation chapter number 16, verses 12 through 16. We pick up today with the literal translation of verse 14, where it says, "For the spirits, they are being of demons, doing signs to be proceeding, which signs it is proceeding upon the kings of the whole inhabited world, to gather them together unto a war of that great particular day of the Almighty God." Now, remember, technically, there's only one devil, and the plural usage of devils in the King James is always a reference to the host of demons under his command. It may well be that these words will be the culmination and the epitome of what 2 Thessalonians 2:11 states when it says, "And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe or literally the lie. By signs and the words of the kings, the whole inhabited earth are deceived into assembling and laying siege against God's people, believing that they're about to defeat them." Now, I think we should take time to go back and consider an ancient example that's recorded for us in the book of 1 Kings. We'll read from chapter 22, verses 19 through 23, and then verses 34 through 38. "And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee." Dropping down to verse 34. "And a certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, Turn thy hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even. And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. And there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, Every man to his city, and every man to his own country. So the king died, and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor according to the word of the Lord which he spake." The reality of God's anointed one is he is coming to destroy them with the brightness of his coming, according to 2 Thessalonians 2:8. Verse 15 of Revelation literally says, Behold, I'm coming just as a thief, a blessed one, the one watching and the one keeping the garments of him, in order that he may not be walking about naked, and they may not be seeing his indecency. To some, this verse seems to be out of place. The positive blessings applies to those who are faithfully watching and keeping their garments. Behold, I am coming just as a thief can be a warning to the unbeliever as well as the believer. Sennacherib made great threats against Judah and her king Hezekiah. And on the eve of his presumed victory, God sent forth the angel of the Lord, again a theophany, and slew 185,000 choice men of valor. Isaiah 37, verse 36. Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed, and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch his god, that Adab, Melech, and Sharezer his sons smote him with the sword. And they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon his son reigned in his stead. So also this is recorded in 2 Kings 19 and 2 Chronicles 32.